All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Steven. Happy New Year, Justin.
What's up?
Hey, Printavo Print Hustlers. Welcome back to the Print Hustlers podcast. I'm Bruce from Printavo. We got Stephen Farag. We've got Justin Lawrence out of Oklahoma City. We got a really cool 2022 recap, the best and worst episode. Anything surprising, Stephen?
We learned a lot about the cannabis industry.
We did learn a lot about that. Just the woes of I think people management came out too. But also some really cool stuff. I think especially around the life management. I think we dedicate everything to the business and then let the personal life suffer a lot, and then working to create a better balance over time. So that was really cool. But real quick, we've got some awesome sponsors that we're going to jump in and talk about. First off, Easy Way. Steven?
Justin, you use Easy Way?
We love Easy Way. It's the easiest way.
Is there anything else we have to say?
Not today.
Justin, what chemicals do you use?
I have to go. I don't know. I don't watch.
Yeah, they're so good you don't even know. When you
it's the easiest way. Set it
when
and
you
forget
don't
it.
hear from your reclaim, that means everything's going well. We use 701 842. Thanks Easy Way for everything. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you. If you value a company to help you with those how-tos, best practices, and questions, Easy Way's there. Give them a go. All right, Bruce, who you got next?
Supacolor. So Supacolor is the world's best heat transfer. They've actually got something that I'm just leaking out a little bit here. This V2 transfer that, wait. All right. Maybe I didn't say that. Maybe I did. Anyway, they've got something new coming out. But also check out their new guide too. So supacolor.com/printhustlers. Supacolor's got some amazing heat transfers that they also have this guide they made that helps you with pricing, what's a really good quality heat press to buy, different types of transfers, using them, hard to print locations, gradients, high color designs. All this really good stuff is in this PDF guide, supacolor.com/printhustlers, and look forward to this really cool announcement. I think we're recording with them at Long Beach.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to talk about it soon.
You can use Printavo 15 and get 15% off your order. So don't forget about that. You know who else we're going to see at Long Beach? Nick Wood. Nick called me to make sure I had a ride from the airport and wanted to know what I was doing on Saturday night. And if you need a solution to improve efficiency and reduce costs in your art department, if you go to 1-900-HOT STUFF, you will find Graphic Source. Graphic Source offers industry-leading outsource options for your shop by truly becoming a part of your team. They plug and play with Printavo and other shop management software, so when it comes to SEPs, mockups, creative art, order management, embroidery digitizing, back office admin, and customer service, there's no better company in our industry to work with. With over 30 years in the game, they really know and understand shop needs and have a proven track record of success. Hit them up, graphicsource.com. You can get 50% off your first vector, SEP, or embroidery order, and you will definitely see them at Long Beach.
Heck yeah. All right. Multicraft Daddy is now at, ladies and gentlemen, 520 followers. Thank you. Make sure you go ahead and follow him. All right. They've got something exciting coming down the pipeline very soon. Really cool partnership. But if you need ink supplies or a daddy, Multicraft Screen Printing and Digital Supplies for over 50 years have been providing you with top brands at competitive pricing. Hey, and make sure to mention the Printavo podcast, and you will get 10% off your first order with them. They are great.
Dave couldn't be at Print Hustlers because the planes were all canceled. And so as long as he doesn't fly Southwest to Long Beach, maybe he'll be in his full dad garb that he's working on. I think he's working on a new logo too. So sweet. All right.
Let's
get to it.
Owner, CEO, operator, guy of Oklahoma Shirt Company, of which we did a really cool shop tour, and maybe producer Chris, you could put his shop tour down below. I think that was pretty enlightening. Thanks for joining on such short notice too.
Of course, anything for you guys.
For our 2022.
Justin was the best MC of all time at Print Hustlers. If you didn't go, you missed sing-alongs, games, a lot of other stuff.
Seriously, have you hosted an event before like that?
I mean, not like that, but events
Just an
where
event.
yeah, groups of people get together and largely need to be entertained. That is one of the I can entertain a room most of the time.
Okay. Yeah, you were spectacular. I was just noticing, and then your internet cut out, but you had like a solemn look when you logged in. You like your hands are on your head like this, and you're just like, breathing very slowly. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
What's up?
It's thank you for asking. I just stepped away from a tough conversation, and so this is me switching, getting back in a different headspace. So it drives my wife crazy, but I wear my emotions on my face, on my sleeve. But you're getting what you get. If I'm happy, I'm in a good mood. You can see it. I'm not very good at hiding it.
Justin, can you flip the switch real quick? Yeah, got it. You can go from mean boss to crazy boss to fun boss.
Yeah. That's the hard part. When I have to be boss, that's my least favorite job. Like, Jesus, at this point, if you don't know what the hell's going on, then what are you doing? Now, there's course corrections, and and I certainly have my own side of I don't provide great leadership sometimes, or I don't communicate my expectations in a clear way. But also when it's like, y'all, we've talked about the same thing 100 times. Why do I still have to remind you to do X, Y, or Z? Thus is the curse of being a small business owner,
Did you guys mess up a job today?
I don't know. This was not Oklahoma Shirt Company. This is a different business.
That's
This
great.
This is next door.
Chill.
I've started over. I'm in the garage again with another business, and I don't have near the patience nor the capacity to deal with all of the things that you normally deal with when you're starting a business from scratch. I just expect it to work, and I fail and stumble time and time again because I just do the same thing expecting the same results, and it's silly.
Justin, I know we're going to get into like a bunch of questions today, and I think it's cool that we're bringing you on to do year-end stuff, but like how much fun is it to build a company again?
Or is it not?
Yeah, dude.
Or is it not?
Because I don't know if I'd have the energy again, to be honest.
Bruce, you ain't wrong. I've told my wife that I'm not starting another company ever again. It's like having children. I've realized and my wife has largely raised our children. I try to be there as much as I can and support, but it's just, I understand because the only way to do it right and the only way to do it well is you have to make something special, and you can't just fund something well, hire the right people, put it in the right spot. You can't do all of the things and then just expect it to work, which is what I did. So yeah, I'm worn out. I don't want to do it again. I will do other things that don't involve creating a business from scratch and trying to earn the trust of people in your town or city to come give you their money for your products or services. So no, I would not do it again.
I don't know if because you say that, but also you did. So it's like you were interested enough to jump in, right?
Well, I didn't know better. Oklahoma Shirt Company's winning. Hey, cool. And then there's opportunity. And really me starting another business next door ultimately was a distraction and damaging to Oklahoma Shirt Company. But I had partners, and then I didn't. And then I got a new set of partners, and then I didn't. And then I realized the only way out of this problem is to fold, and just walk away and say it's done, or to go right through the middle of it and make something special and make it great. And so here we are, making it great and making it special on principle. And it's the only way it's the only way I know how to solve the problem. If someone were to come by and want to buy a business, that's one way to solve the problem, but I don't know how to do that yet, but my buddy Steven does.
Or our buddy Bruce does.
My buddy Bruce does. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, hopefully that conversation fixes it, or
no,
or something.
No,
else,
it's about taking trash out and sticking to the plan and being consistent and doing a good job and not blowing up the plan every week and starting over. No, you have, even if it fails, you have to. It's like having a budget. You have to make a budget, and then you have to submit yourself to that budget. And if that budget doesn't work, then you fix it. You don't blow it up and start over again. You change, you course correct, and then you try again, and you try again, and you try again. And
I thought you were talking directly to my marketing team, but I guess we share similar. They're not going to listen to this. If you're listening to this, guys, you message me right now. Venmo you $50. Anyways, best and worst of 2022. Should we do it?
Let's do it. Let's jump on in. All right,
Bruce. We got to put you on the spot first, though.
Oh.
Because Bruce knows how to dig and like ask all the hard questions, but I feel like now that we have power in numbers here, we can just go at Bruce. So we're gonna run through Bruce. You want to kind of run down what we're gonna do?
Yeah. All right. So we've got a bunch of different best and worst that we want to talk about. And we're going to try to be as honest as possible. Obviously, we've got Steven and Justin here, actual shop owners. I'm going to try to share as much as that I can that I think will be helpful. More probably on the business side that'll be relevant. And then we've got business related stuff and then also personal stuff. And then we'll wrap up with a kind of prediction aspect of it as far as how we're looking at this year. And I'm going to tag this. I'll post it somewhere so that we can review it in a year. That'd be kind of cool to look back and see were we right or were we just completely way off? So the first thing, though, I did want to share, which I thought was really cool, and this is maybe more for you, Steven, is just that over the whole year, there were 442,000 YouTube listens / views and 60,000 listens. So about 500,000 total listens on different channels of, all the content that we're putting out. So thank you to obviously everybody listening. I had no idea it was that size, but I also don't know what size is good or small. I think we all listen to podcasts that are massive and are like, all right, cool. This has just always been a fun thing to be able to get guests to come on. But yeah, so sweet. Nice job. Clapping.
Good job, Bruce.
Clapping noise.
Both of y'all, good job. That's influence. That's like, you've built something that clearly people give a damn about. You've made something special.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin. No, I think it is really cool and super excited. I think Steven and I are always texting each other back and forth of different guest ideas, or if we're running low, to get on a Zoom to jump in and be able to grab new folks. We've got a really exciting 2023 coming up with a bunch of other new folks, and it's easier now to get people onto the podcast, which is fun too. I could just message more people, not have to explain, as more people have heard it and want to jump on. So I like that. All right. Anyway, you guys ready? Should we just jump on in? Just get started?
Let's do it.
Ready.
Just to maybe be able to kick this one off for us here. But what we wanted to talk about first is best and worst business decision, parentheses, business decisions of 2022. So there could be a lot, there could be little. Do you want to start, Justin, you want to start with best, or do you want to start with worst, or are you just going to riff?
I'm going to riff. Probably they might be the same thing. So with chill, like what I was saying earlier, and this is just business in general. This isn't, I can think about Osco if I need to, but I reached a point with chill where it was, I needed to either, make this thing special and turn it into something and kind of go all in full time on this thing, or I need to shut it down. And I went all in on it with my own time, with my own resources, with Oklahoma Shirt Company's resources, to just make something that was special. And so I have injured my own business and my own personal wealth, or whatever it is. I've really stepped up to make this thing special. And if I could do chill all over again, if we're just in the spirit of being honest, I probably would not have done it. But here we are. And it's a decision that I made, and I'm here to reap the fruits and the consequences of it. And so I'm just hell-bent on making it great. And I think there's a uniqueness that comes with, like, there's a specialness that comes with an owner that's really motivated with a small business and a small team to make something really great. The customer certainly benefits from a high quality product, usually at a really competitive price. I'm trying to brand it the best that I can, and we're trying to be cutting edge and resourceful. And Stephen, like you said, like, part of what building a business all over again or starting over, I've done it right this time around. You know, we've invested in the best technology. We've invested in the doing everything proper. So it's like, instead of starting in the garage and getting, you know, used pieces of equipment and cutting your teeth on screen printing and learning and, you know, under curing a bunch of shirts and learning that lesson. No, we're just kind of jumping all in. And I have a partner in it that he brings he brings a wealth of industry experience. So it's kind of fun. Like, I'm here to bring this operational stability and to crack the whip and to hold a line with a really small team to make the most profitable little engine that we can. And also, the only way for it to be profitable in a market that's as saturated as Oklahoma is with cannabis is to make something that stands out. So here we are. So I think both. Like, best decision I made was kind of a triage life support decision that we have to do this. Worst decision was probably that as well.
Did you say what Chill is, by the way, at the beginning?
Chill is a cannabis business in Oklahoma. It's a dispensary. It's vertically integrated. So it's a dispensary. It does cultivation, growing, and it's a processor. So we create our own products. We grow our own flower, and then we manufacture them into either flour or into rosin or into disposable cartridges or into pre-rolls. And then there's a retail side of our business where we sell out of our own dispensary. And then there's a wholesale side where we provide our products to multiple dispensaries around the state.
It's like a contract printer for weed.
100%. It's the same damn thing. Like, it's this,
how much time do you think you cut off from the growth of that business by just like going super legit right away, getting a partner that knows what the hell they're doing right away, instead of the sort of garage phase, like you said, like a year, 3
I'm
years?
sorry. How much time did I save? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely quite a bit. Quite a bit of time. Chill is 4 years old. For the first 3 years, she's kind of been asleep. Really, first 2 years, she was asleep. Maybe she's 5 years old. First 3 years, she was asleep. For the past 2 years has really been when we kind of turned over a new leaf, literally and figuratively. And it's just, yeah, it's a relentless pursuit of, and I just know what the end of the story is a lot faster. Like, I've seen this play out. I know what consistent sales looks like. I know what a good retail experience looks like. I don't have to wonder how should I solve this customer service issue. I know when it's time to, like, cut bait and just abandon a process, or when, you know, we need to put our noses down and do it right. So it's so faster.
Justin, does the rest of the team rely on do they always, like, do you compare what you do at Oklahoma Shirt Company to the dispensary? Like, do they get sick of that? Like, well, at Oklahoma Shirt Company, we do this, so we're going to do that. Are you, like, applying yeah, go ahead.
It helps that, like, so there's a small team at Chill. There's me, my business partner, Ben, who's the head cultivator. There's Noah, who's the dispensary and kind of store manager. Then there's Mikey, who is Ben's right-hand man in the grow. And then there's two other guys, Deacon and Zach. And what they do, they run the dispensary. You know, and Noah runs the dispensary. So there's this retail thing that we have to keep up all the time. It's open from 9 to 9 every day. But those guys, while they're running the store, they're also running, they're doing a lot of the manufacturing. So they're making, you know, a lot of the products that we make. The store probably has 20 to 50 visitors a day. And not all of them purchase, but they come in or they check things out or they go through. We have in our lobby a disc golf store. But I say all of that. Mikey, Noah, and Zach, 3 of them, they used to work at Osco. So they have a perception of me. Ben, my partner, has a deep respect for Osco and what we've built. And so I qualify everything. I play probably an unfair amount of trump cards of like, hey, I'm not doing this all over again, or I've seen this played out. So it's an acknowledged respect, and it's an acknowledged appreciation that, we don't have to, like what you said, Bruce, we don't have to spend a lot of times figuring out like, how did we do this in the garage, or how should we do this? No, like, hey, this is the way. This is what we're doing. And bringing a decade of experience of building a business, and then dropping it into this little business it's a great skill set. I know what it is.
What is it? You want to guess?
I don't know.
What would you say?
Yeah, I do want to guess.
I'm going to say it's kind of that double whammy as well. I took in outside funding this year in 2022, whether it be from a billionaire or from other investors. I decided to take my business down a journey that has a very low success rate, where 90% of startups fail, and I did that because it's the start to an exit. And part of me regrets it sometimes, where I think, like, could I just keep running this like a good old small business, or do I want something bigger? And I definitely went for the chase, and I still struggle with that. I mean, it's not easy whatsoever, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. From that, we've brought on 23 new employees in 9 months, and it's just turned into a completely different beast. So I hope I don't regret it.
If you were to, like, what's the biggest benefit you've recognized in the past 3 months, 6 months?
The biggest benefit to bringing in outside funding is, Kevin Baumgart says this, you get to do things as you ought. You don't have to cut a lot of corners, and you can spend quickly on what you need. So I have a CFO, I have a CTO. I'm able to maybe overhire a little bit. I am not as worried about profitability as we're growing. And that's fun. It's like giving a kid a super soaker. There's a fun component to it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, right? It lets us cut through glass. The opportunities that are open are insane, but the pressure is also insane, because investors want to make their money back somehow. So, and I have to do that for them.
I feel like you've got, I feel like some of the hires, though, you made have been some of your best decisions. Like, your CFO, Steve.
I think the coolest part about it, and we'll get to best hires and all that stuff, is I literally I can afford to build with my best friends. Like, I was in school, everyone became an accountant or a consultant or an engineer and went off and worked in Chicago. And then now when we're all 30, I got them back. And that is the coolest part. That has made my job so much fun, is to work with my peers, literally my college roommates, or people that I've built with in the past. And then we can really hack on projects. So it has allowed me to create a really fun team, and a team that I get to build with my best friends. So I think that's the best part of it.
What about those business groups? That feels like a pretty good business decision. Join or hired coaches and did some other education stuff. That's cool.
I have a coach for everything, right? Like, from a sales coach to a therapist to a personal trainer. I just know that I'm going through volatile times, and I need as much guidance and help as possible. And so that was probably really one of the big things that I did this year. And I'm not shy about it. Like, my team knows, I have all those things, and I need them because there's no way I can get through it without that kind of guidance. So, yeah. I've joined some exec groups. Bruce wants into a couple of them, but he's applying right now.
I listed out a couple of things I could think of. I was trying to get as specific as I could. So I had my best ones. There was a tweet that I posted. I read this guy who's, I know, Steven, you read him too. Sahil. Yeah, Sahil Bloom. He has a newsletter that you can find called Curiosity Chronicles. And basically in his latest one, he was like, when in doubt, zoom out. The 10,000-foot view provides perspective on the manageable nature of your struggles and impressive nature of your growth. and next to it is this chart, which like we could pop up here, but essentially it's a view of like, the first one is if you're looking at the day view, it's like this crazy like up and down wave, like the stock market or something. And then the second view is if you zoom out, it's like this really smooth line. If you look at the 0 to 10 year growth, let's say of your revenue, very smooth, maybe pretty linear. And, I think as we started to get to 30 people and starting to bring on some more critical roles, you definitely get very like worried if, certain people don't work out. It feels like just a total shitstorm. But really focusing on zooming everybody out and going back to the original goal of what we're trying to do has been super helpful. I think there was another thing too that we always try to find, I know I do try to look for different like hacks, like life hacks or different business hacks or things to get to where we're going quicker. And realizing that a lot of it just came down to me as a person limiting the business growth. So it was like literally not just delegating as well as possible, or just not getting out of the way as well as possible, not letting other people fail as well as possible. And that the fact that there probably wasn't much rocket science to it, it's like you can see another business that's a couple of years ahead of you, and there's no real like hidden mojo generally. It's just like they hired the right people. They then hired sales. They funneled the sales in. They fulfilled the sales. And, there wasn't a genie behind there. And so anyway, so I thought that was it. Is just like who's really in control and just doing some really good self-reflection of how much in the way are you being. Once ultra specific one I wrote down too was Google Ads. I think so for Google Ads for us has been a big driver of traffic. People that are searching for specific keywords, like ultra specific keywords of looking for shop management software. And it's hard to find an agency to do this and to manage it. And so me learning the basics and like 50% of it to be decent made it so that I could offload it. And before we hired like 3 different agencies and never worked. It was just total waste of money. But really learning that basic, turned out to be such a huge lead driver, right? I mean, anybody searching such a specific keyword that your business can fulfill that service for turned out to be really, really great.
And Bruce, did you learn how to do that, or you said you hired someone to do that?
Well, I did hire someone first. Yeah, and then through COVID, we cut them out to try to save some money. And then I jumped in and really spent time every single week. So every Monday I had an hour blocked off first thing in the morning to go into it, learn about negative keywords, campaigns, bidding strategies, keywords to bid on, the analytics of it, really dialing in the call to action, like all this stuff. And I'm probably 50% of the way there as far as knowing the tool, maybe less. But now I can offload it better to say, hey, here's what I want you to do every single week versus, hey, I need you to help drive more leads to us. Because ad agencies are so motivated by just dollars spent. Like they want you to spend more money so that they can make more off of your project. But we didn't need to spend more. It was really just dialing it in better and optimizing the spend that we had.
Bruce, it almost sounds like you got nerdy about one thing this year and became a ninja at it. I mean, it's like you learn a new skill. It's like you learn how to play the piano or something, and now you're like, oh crap, we can play the piano at Printavo.
And I don't know if that was the best time spent, but I mean, it's directly correlated to sales. So I figured, what more can an owner really help do except really drive more top of funnel? So I think some of my bad ones, I think we talk about a lot about this, but it's just not hiring management sooner. I'm not exactly sure of the revenue marker, like per manager, but like a true real manager for sales. For tech, we did do that earlier correctly, but not for sales and success and getting these other things off the plate. It is so interesting to see now with the PE firm and new ownership here that they implemented new management in a quarter, in 3 months, right? It was CEO James, who we had on the show, is really great, learning the ropes of everything, learning where there's holes missing, and saying, okay, great. So here's what the people that you have that are good, and here's the people that you have that are not so good at management. Here's the people I need to go hire. And then he just went on a terror finding the right people and getting them in the right seats. And now he can be more high level and make those like decisions based off the weekly traction, EOS, what do you call it? Scoreboard. So, I highly admire that just because I think we talk about it, but it never really happens. And part of it is just revenue. Like you just need money to spend to hire, but also we just don't get to it. It's like the item on the bottom of the list that gets pushed down after every week.
Justin, at Oklahoma Shirt Company, do you guys have like a fleshed out, like, is there a direct report for everyone? Like, is there like a lot of middle management? What's that like? I see it in tech, but I'm curious to know, like, you as a small business owner that's obviously grown a pretty big ship. What's it like for you guys?
Yeah, it's me. And then on my team is an art director, a operations manager, a customer care manager, and then my helper, Tess. And then, like, me and Tess have a small team that's really this admin team. That's me and Tess and Madison. And we, between the three of us, which Tess and Madison have done a great job, and that's what's largely allowed me to go help chill in the way in which it needed to be needed, was they were able to keep the day-to-day operations alive. They're in my inbox. They're, supporting my main management team. But then the management team underneath them, like, it's just departmental. So, like, our art department, it's Andrea and then her team. There's just her and a handful of designers. And then the customer care team is similar. It's Sang, and then he's got his, 5 or 6 that help, field all of the communication. But then production and operations is where it really branches out. Like Katie, the operations manager, she's got a screen printing manager, a production manager, then she's got a embroidery, miscellaneous decoration manager, then a fulfillment manager, and then a warehouse manager, that then they all break out into subsequent leadership. So she's the only one on my team that has another meeting with like a team that she sees, that's kind of analogous to me. She supervises a team of 5 or 6 that then supervise their subsequent departments.
I commend you a lot for that. So Bruce told me a long time ago, like, build your org chart and just start writing in the names. And like this year more than ever, people have told me, like, Steven, you can't manage any more people. Like, you have to get the F out of here. Like, we'll take that. And if you don't do that, now the owner handcuffs the business, like you said, Bruce.
It's so true, especially if you have an opinion about everything. I'm not a micromanager, but if I'm in a process, like, I can't just like, I where I see one cockroach, I always assume there's 100. So if I see an issue, like, I would jump into it, and I'm recognizing that, like, every time I would jump into these, sub things, I end up doing damage, hurting people's feelings, slowing down my process, my purview of the things that I'm supposed to be doing gets out of whack. And so I've swung probably a little too hard. That's 2023 for me, is kind of coming back to balance. I kind of like was all in chill and largely left my team. But I've also built my team. They don't want me. We meet once a week, and largely that meeting's for me. And it's, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? What are the issues? What do we need to decide as a team? Any big red flags? And then I get to air out all of my grievances about the people that they supervise and the processes and how things can be better. And then they take that and then do with it as they see fit. That works for us, though. And I asked my team, I used to do one-on-ones with everybody. I hated it. Not everybody, but the people I supervised. I was finding myself doing 7 one-on-ones a week because I was trying to be the best version of manager I could. And I ended up just half-assing all of it, or canceling, or like, hey, we're not doing, like, then I just realized, like, do y'all if y'all need this, then let's do it. But I'm not a people developer. I'm just a hard worker, and I don't want many dependencies to be on me. I just want to be here working and doing the things that I need to be doing or making the things better. I've tried to remove myself from all of the dependencies of Oklahoma Shirt Company, sans like big, really finances, really like just, hey, how are these bills getting paid? And I'm even trying to let those things go more and more into my support team of, hey, can there be a set of time that goes by where they're largely paying bills and managing, payroll and cash flow and things so that's where I want to be. I want to build it. I want this thing to be stable enough where I can just say here and, it be operational.
All right, let's keep going.
Well, actually, wait, real quick to wrap this up. Was there any best or worst marketing campaign that you guys did?
Yes. The worst was we don't really market. We have a billboard which we don't have anymore. And then a newsletter that we're questioning the efficacy of and if we should continue doing it or not. So bad. Oklahoma Shirt Company gets an F as far as marketing this year, but we're busy. We had a 16% growth this year. So I don't know what you do. Do you market? I don't want to it's both. So yeah, bad. We haven't done good marketing.
I think the problem that we have when it comes to marketing is we come up with an idea and it's a shiny thing and it seems fun for the marketing team to do. Like, we're recruiting students, so we want to record a video and do all these stickers, and $1,000 later and 2 days of filming, like, what did we do? So I think our worst decision is, sometimes we emotionally make decisions for marketing that aren't data driven. Just because they're fun to fit the role of marketing. We've had a few of those.
And I want to clarify, I say we don't market. Like, largely our marketing strategy is generosity. Like, we generally say yes to everybody who asks, can you donate? Can you be a sponsor? Can you in kind to this or in kind to that? And the answer is 99% of the time yes. And so I think that's where, so we are marketing. It's just not a calculated, measured. It's just we try to be out there as much as we can. And live screen printing. Live screen printing is the best marketing that a screen printer can do.
Farag, no more live printing for you?
I can barely print dead.
Not alive?
Let's learn to print under the roof.
Section.
Let's learn to print under the roof before we leave the building. We do take heat press on site with our pneumatic ones. That's kind of cool. All right. Justin, worst job you took this year?
Silver lining and double-edged as most things are, but there was a shop that there's a lot of backstory into, but their owner reached out to me and basically said, hey, we're shutting down our production and we want to move all of our printing and embroidery to you, and I want you to help me get rid of our equipment. And they had several reoccurring revenue products, specifically shirt of the months. And I said, you bet. And basically I worked out a deal with them where I said I valued all their equipment and all their stuff, which was about $500,000. And then I said, I'll take all of that and then we'll either keep it for ourselves, upgrade our own processes, which buying used screen printing equipment is never it was all M&R machines, which are great in their own respects. But having a workhorse shop and an M&R shop just is incongruent. So I took all of their embroidery equipment, which was where we needed the biggest upgrade, along with 3 of their very seasoned operators, which was where we needed a lot of help in embroidery. So we doubled our horsepower in embroidery. But basically the deal was, the sale was, we provide all these services to you at wholesale pricing, and I'm going to essentially give you $400,000 in trade out. So they basically had access to all of our capacity. And I was pretty upfront, I thought, about You just get wholesale pricing. Y'all still have to purchase all of the blanks and drop ship them to us. As the deal got closer and closer to completion, it was revealed to me that the expectation was for us to purchase all the blanks, which is a completely different cash flow issue than us
Labor?
just providing printing. Yeah, and consumables, which is nothing. Consumables are the easiest, the cheapest, and then labor is the second, and then the garments are just. So we looked up, dude. They ran us dry. I mean, I basically made zero money for 4 months because they got all of their credit in about 4 months. So they burned through about $380,000 worth of blanks and labor and consumables at our expense. And we had all the equipment, we got all the things. So there was no fleecing, but I did not realize how broke that was going to make me. And so we've survived. We're still injured, but we still print for them. They have several businesses, but as soon as we finished our agreement, they took all of the business because I was counting down. We had a spreadsheet. We were tracking all the jobs. And then as soon as they hit zero, we let them know okay, great. This next round of POs, we want to figure out how you're going to start paying us because what we had done is agreed upon pricing and it was competitive. And then there was the trade out agreement. And then I was just waiting okay, hey, we've hit the bottom of the tank. We're out of gas, but it's okay because they're going to now give us $100,000 to $150,000 a month in contract printing. And then they sent the business elsewhere. So
God damn.
Yeah, dude, that hurt.
Oof.
Yeah, oof is right. And we had hired, and I'd also, not only did we take 3 of their embroidery people, we took 6 of their production people. And I was planning on okay, we have just amoeba'd this other print shop. And turns out what they did was my pricing. There's another large printer here in Oklahoma.
They just took it over there and
they had, before we worked out the whole trade out deal, we had been bidding on, they were shutting down their production and okay, who's going to be our new manufacturer? Is it going to be company A or company B? And they secured which is smart. Everything they did was smart. Their business was purchased by private equity. And so they had outside people that didn't give a shit about us or relationship. And I'm largely dealing with people that I have pretty good relationships with. So then when it just came down to brass tacks, it was when we agreed upon how much you were going to charge us to print, we also had a secondary agreement with these people, how much they would charge us to print. Our printing was higher, but they were going to benefit getting rid of all their equipment and all of their production headaches. And so once they burned through all of that, they just flipped to the cheaper printer. And then I said, hey, can I have an opportunity to earn this business? And they're like, well, it'll go out for bidding next year. And when it does, then, we'll happily consider you guys. So,
oof.
Cool.
That one's hard to beat.
There you go.
I don't think I can beat that.
You don't need to.
I ain't
Please
going to try
don't.
and beat that. There ain't nothing to beat.
Yeah.
Wait, what about any best ones?
What's your biggest sale?
That too. Well, so their embroidery, there's one of their other companies that my buddy that was the CEO of, he's still the CEO of this other company that they were together. Now they're apart. He just sent us a PO for 2,800 hats, which is always awesome. And so it was kind of both. They sent us an enormous. So the biggest sales, they overnight became our biggest customer. And then 4 months later, they became no longer our customer. So they had very large POs. I mean, they were, again, do the math, 100 to 150 grand worth of contract printing in a 3 to 4 month period. That's a lot of POs. And they weren't small. They were all minimum order quantities were 500 to 750 pieces. I mean, it was the sweet spot. But,
so next time you amoeba shop, you'll get or you'll do something different.
Well, I will, but also these opportunities are so few and far between, you know, and each one of them looks different and they all have different personalities and they all have different risks. And all you can do is just try to be better next time, you know, and try to be a little more diligent next time and take better care of it next time.
Okay. I'm going to do a worse job. I like, now that we're working with a lot of athletes and influencers, we get hit up by very random people that think they're famous or that are maybe famous and they want you to do a bunch of stuff for them. And there were a couple of occasions where we're talking like high profile NBA, you know, trying to do a couple things. And we rolled out the red
Say his name, Steven.
Nope.
Tell me a name.
Nope. Nope.
Jabron Hames.
I'll go if you go. And rolled out the red carpet. We're building stuff. We're working. And these are all like new employees we have on our team that are super excited about it. And they just got, you know, we probably put in $5,000-$10,000 of building e-commerce solutions, sampling, being on calls, late night, we need this, that, and the whole thing kind of flopped in our face. And so I think we learned there, we don't care who you are. You know, we have to see a track record or we have to charge for it. And that was a big learning moment. Usually I'm calculating a lot of those risks and I'm the one building a lot of that stuff. And I used to build that. But now that we have people on the team, they would say things like, oh, I'll just work all weekend on this to get this thing up. I want to really impress them. And you're like, okay, whatever, if you want to go above and beyond. And so that was, you know, that was something that I learned really quickly, of the fame doesn't necessarily mean dollar bills. So
wait, why did Crash and Burn at the end? Or did you just cut it off?
It really depended on them and their market, and they just weren't good marketers.
And they didn't sell anything.
Yeah, so they didn't sell anything. And then they still, you know, we're putting out a $5,000-$10,000 solution and we're selling 6 shirts. And so, you know, and then we have to turn it on them and say, it's not going to work out. And I have to get in the call and be like, hey, this isn't going to work. And we kind of just look like bozos. And so we learned that very quickly. Be careful not to roll out the red carpet just because they're a big name. On the flip side, we're a best sale. One of our university partners called us and said they sell a lot of posters. And we're like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, we'll sell these like basketball posters. And so we threw together this store for them, 25,000 posters at $12 a piece later. We were rolling posters and shipping them out for a basketball team. And that was
Where
sick.
were you getting the posters from?
Down the street. We made athletes like $15,000 in the process. We had no idea what we were doing. The hardest part was like not getting paper cuts when we were rolling posters. But yeah,
what does 15,000 posters look like? Is that like really thick or?
Posters are so heavy. They're like bricks. Like
yeah.
when you see 500, I mean, you can't carry. They're like weights. And so yeah, we said yes to it. And that was another one where we're like, I don't know. And then they told us, they're like, no, this is legit. People are going to buy them. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And it popped. So
how do you tell? Like you just can't, right? You just, hope you got more wins than losses.
Look, I had to say, I said yes to 2 opportunities that I both, and one that I didn't think was going to blow up, went off. And the one that I thought was going to do amazing flopped. Right.
It's like making masks, you just have to be ready. You have to go. If you see opportunity, go for it. Like all of us regret making masks, but all of us were like, hell yeah. You do it, because
I remember when Justin figured out how to like cut the masks or something late night. You had like a
clicker press.
I mean, we don't print posters, but we learned how to, if someone wants 20,000 posters, we'll figure out how to ship them.
Did you order 20,000 tubes?
Yeah. We're going. So
Bro,
somewhere.
What kind of Uline like sweet things did you get? You get like the Did you get a Mercedes that was blue from Uline?
No, we just got a lot of magazines.
You get a magazine. You get a magazine.
Yeah.
There's only so many like camouflage Yeti cups and like small grills that one can have. Like everybody at Christmas party, you're
The
powered
problem
by
is
Uline.
tubes don't ship well in bulk, so we're like pallets were coming in. It was fun.
Oh my god!
Fun experience.
Skids, sir. Skid.
Skids.
You were buying poster tubes by the skid.
Poster tubes by the skid. Bruce,
Wild.
Best and worst customer for you?
I don't have a best. I mean, our customers aren't, you pay a flat rate for the most part. So it's not, there's no real standout per se. But I think the worst one, though, is just cutting off toxic customers and sooner.
What's his name? Say his name, Bruce.
Farag didn't name his, so I legally actually can't. We had to go through some issues there, but I think I didn't realize how draining it was on the team too. For me, it's like it rolls off the shoulder or whatever. Like I got other things to do, but gosh, such a fresh breath of air for everybody in the company when you just kill off toxic customers. So that's the worst
Bruce,
one.
I would say even for you, like you started turning off your notifications a little more on the Facebook stuff, just so that like you could focus on running the business and not get caught in
Dragged
the keyboard
down.
warrior haterade. I don't know. There were a couple rough nights.
Yeah, no, I think actually that's a really good one. I didn't even think about that, and maybe that's like a good life one too. Is just like less channels of people that can reach out. I think but what's weird is, right, like you have to do it when you're small, but then it's like when do you transition to not to having enough momentum? I'm not exactly sure, and maybe it's a team size thing where somebody can be dedicated to it, whether it's an account management or support thing, but absolutely trying to just do once a week or something. You're right. Okay. Best / worst hire. We don't have to name names here, but I think roles and probably if you could give context around the size that you guys are for the role to know when it's most appropriate.
I'll lead. So probably my favorite part of this year was that I got to hire a couple of my close friends. I hired a CFO who is a CPA and is the smartest human I know when it comes to money and has known me for 10 years and knows how I operate. And he's the complete opposite of me. He was in my wedding. And then being able to hire a CTO who may have been an early engineer at Printavo. And then hiring our NIL director who may have been an early employee at Printavo, who's also in my wedding. And a bunch of other great people, but being able to literally say like, yo, we're doing this now, let's go. That has been the highlight of my 30s in this year. Worst hire, I went 0 for 2 on a production manager. So, had to cut bait twice.
Was it a brick or an airball?
Both. I don't know.
Half court
hard.
brick.
Yeah, had to cut bait twice. And I struck out really hard and thinking I had some awesome people and spent a ton of time and like a bad organ transplant just didn't work. And I think in those worst hires, I fired really quick within 4 to 5 weeks.
I was going to say you did an incredible job though of cutting the slack fast. I'm not good at that, and that was like you went in with a machete and just.
I think Justin, right? Like when you have an awesome employee and then you have a less than awesome employee,
it's black and white.
You're just like, no, this isn't going to work. We got to just rip it off now. You probably get really good at firing people now, Justin, right? No.
Yeah, well, that production manager too is your quarterback. And if you talent instantly, and if they can't. The clock is running and there's not time to wait around for development, especially when you're trying to replace somebody has been doing it. I can't imagine. I thought I was going to have to do it earlier on, like a few years ago. That's thankfully a bridge that I never have had to cross.
Justin, best and worst hire for you?
Definitely the aqua hires. When we picked up that business, the
Those
The
are
embroidery
big,
team-
big investment words.
Yeah, the embroidery talent was just water in the desert. We needed it. We've never been able to. And I had a new operator, like a new embroidery department manager, and that's something that we've just never gotten right. So having them, that team, was great because we were always begging and borrowing from different departments. Like when our capacity and embroidery would spike, like we would just need extra trimmers or we would need people to run machines, and it was just kind of like it was like the early days of printing a little more than you probably should, you know, and you're just fast and loose and reckless and it's fine, you know, but over time that just became very erosive with like trying to find stability. So that, and then the worst, probably the acqui-hires for production, you know, me just taking all of them, trying to be, you know, hey, yeah, come on, this is a safe place to land. We want you to have a job. We always need help. No, we ended up having to lay some people off because it was just like, some of the talent was great, some of it wasn't. And we realized real quick too, like, you don't know how good your team is until you get a turd, you know, and then when you get a turd in there, you just have to, it's self-selecting too. You know, when you've built good talent, they're just like, this person sucks. They got to go. And when you find that real quick, it's like Steven said, you know, it's hard when it's a leader, but some of those acqui-hires, and they weren't bad people. They had worked for 5 years at a different business, and they worked at a very different pace, it's expectation, teams, culture, all the stuff. And coming here, like, it looks great and everyone's happy, but it's because largely we're all high performing, you know?
Wait, do you think, so how many, like, what percentage was good versus bad? Was it 80-20, 70-30, 50-50?
Of the people that we took on?
Yeah.
All of the embroidery talent was hundo P. But also they had like, so the hard part was they had like 30 employees at their company, and they cut out production, and then they flipped their model to solely fulfillment and warehousing. So basically what they got smart. They said, we're going to most of their product was cut and sew. And then they had some domestic decoration, and they just said, oh, we'll count on Oklahoma Shirt Company to do our domestic decoration. And then all of our cut and sew will come from overseas because they're ordering. These are Instagram brands that are crushing. And so they said, we're going to take all of this staff and flip them into be fulfillment and warehouse workers. And then here's the list of people that are like, don't want to work in a warehouse, that are career decorators, or, you know, we don't have a spot for them. And of this list of people, here's the top 10. And so we took the top 10, and the top 3 were their embroidery department. I mean, they just said, no matter what you do, you must take these 3. It was my buddy telling me, like, you have to take these 3 because they are the best. So we took them, and then we took like 5 or 6 of the other top 10 that, you know, we tried to just integrate into production, and none of them are still here.
Wow. So it was actually maybe 30%.
So embroidery was hundo
like
P.
of the 10, you know?
Yeah, and then
which
of
the 30 was, you know, 30%. So
That's
it's
tough.
like, I just wonder if, you know, if you've got multiple roles out, like, is that a viable solution to fill those in finding a company that's closing, which, you know, is random in itself, but or is it just a bit of a long shot? Which it seems like it's kind of a long shot with these percentages.
It's a long shot. I got my feelings hurt because I'm very proud of what we have built here, and some of them came over and they were just, it was apparent that they were incongruent with our culture, and and that I realized, like, after I gave it a little bit of space, I recognized that these people had been at a business that wasn't thriving, that had tried to do a few different things, and the ship was sinking. And then the business pivoted to save the business. And it wasn't managed super well to begin with. And so I took these already kind of, I'm using the word sick, but they're not sick. But like, I'm taking these people that their cultural health wasn't the greatest, their employee health wasn't the greatest. And so to bring them in my environment and then to try to like, hey, welcome, you know, hey guys, we love you. Here's some shirts. Like, hey, fuck you, dude. This industry sucks dick. I'm out. Like, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only a point that's a worker doesn't have loyalty to me, doesn't have loyalty to Oklahoma Shirt Company, doesn't have loyalty to the trade. They're just like, hey, I got to work because I got to feed my family and I got to pay these bills. And I already hate my job. And so now I'm coming over here and I'm going to do the same thing. It's like, I don't like basketball. So it doesn't matter how you try. If you have someone, you try to get them to play basketball, they're still not going to like basketball,
Yeah.
No matter how good the team is.
One of the things that with the PE firm and our ownership change is that they really emphasized the first 6 months, just do nothing. Like, just get to know each other, just spend time together, like go fly out, go meet, do this and that. And me, I'm just like, we need action. Like, let's go, let's build stuff. Like, are we integrating? What are we doing? Like, we need a leader, blah, 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 blah. But looking back in hindsight now and seeing things like this, like, yeah, the cultural aspect, you sort of look at the hardware of it. So, in our case, it's the products. In your case, it was the hardware or like equipment and some of the people in the different seats. But the invisibles with merging are definitely a very core component that's undervalued.
Yeah.
All right, I wrote two. I would say the worst was more of a theme, which was I underhired significantly, probably over the last 3 years. So continuing into probably I'd say a bit more in 2022, but I think that was just. I mean, Steve and I talk about this. Like, I'm a lot more conservative as far as like I want to calculate it. I wanted to know that's going to drive this ROI. Then I'm going to make that decision, and then we'll go to the next one and continue forward. But if I would have taken a bigger swing, for sure, I think we would have moved forward faster. But that was my worst. I'd say the best one. Because of the way of tech right now and laying off a lot of folks, we have been able to scoop up some good engineering talent. So that's awesome. Like, very, very talented people. That was such a headwind for us for the whole time, for years and years and years in such a bull market. And just, people are getting tossed all kinds of salaries and perks and benefits and all that stuff. So that's been huge. And then, not to suck up, but this is going to sound like it is. I think we grabbed a really good CEO. So James is like, the way he thinks about stuff and he approaches problems is very different than I would, and I think is like a mature, more state. It's like I feel like it would be me, but in
kind of looks
5,
like you,
10 years. Yeah, we do have some odd similarities visually. But like the way he like thinks about things and like steps out of problems and just like sort of let stuff happen. It's like, all right, cool. Like, let me know next week. I am so much more of the like, no. I'm going to order the new hire kits and get it set up and everything and like figure out the vendor and order it and blah, blah, blah. Because I want it done 100% my way and right. Or right, quote unquote. So anyway, there's a lot of things I'm taking notes on and just watching in areas I got to get better at. So that was my best and worst. All right, I'm gonna bow out of this one because we just don't have equipment. But we've got best and worst piece of equipment 2022. All right, who wants to kick this off? Justin, you want to go first? Oh, Steven? I was trying to swing it over. All right, fair.
No,
go ahead,
man. Talk to us about direct-to-film, Stevie baby.
Right. You want to kick off the worst one? Why don't you start with the best one first?
Eric's heat presses.
What's the company?
East West Machines.
All right, East West
Machines. Eric Solomon, Night Owl Printing. He's bringing these heat presses over. They're green. They're freaking amazing. Best heat presses in the game. Get them from him. You'll see him at Long Beach. There's his plug. These heat presses are incredible. But we did bring a couple of other cool machines in. We brought a auto hang tagger, which was pretty sick. That's pretty cool. Although it's totally unnecessary, but I hate the stupid hang tag guns.
Yep.
So that was sick. And
where'd you get that?
China.
China.
And then best worst piece of equipment is the DTFs, and I'm not going to go down that road because you can watch an hour-long episode on it, and you will understand why. DTF has changed our business. DTF is also a pain in our ass. Just buy from Supercolor.
Knowing what you know now, if I'm in the market to buy a DTF machine, or if I'm going to buy a DTF machine, what do you advise to do?
He wants the TLDR.
TLDR.
I mean, I've been using the Mongoose from DTF Superstore. It's fine. I'm curious to see at Long Beach what new ones are coming out. At the end of the day, it comes down to the rip. It comes down to the rip and the print heads. All the print heads are the same, and then it comes down to support. So if companies are switching ink on you and their support sucks, you're going to be SOL. But yeah, it runs nonstop. We have 2 of them. They print 500 to 600 transfers a day. It's allowed us to do some crazy cool things. It's also been really, really challenging. Never a dull moment with DTFs. So that's my worst and best. Justin, what about you? It could be on the grow side too. Did you bring in any fun toys?
Hundo P, that's where it is. Yeah. It's that's what there's so many new toys. We have this machine that is all made out of acrylic, and it'll make 100 pro level pre-rolls at once. You take all the flour, then you put it in, there's then you have 100 of something instant. So we have a machine that's a freeze dryer, which is the tech, the keystone tech to make rosin. So you grow the best indoor flower that you can, then you wash it in this real making chili type of process, which is super cool. And then you get this what would you call brandy ice or Jamocha shake type consistency, this tan, pretty smoothie, and then you put it in these trays and it goes inside of a freeze dryer, and a freeze dryer freezes all of the stuff inside of it. And then it pulls a really hard vacuum, which causes sublimation, and it gets all the water out, so it makes it stable and it's food grade. And then you have this really nice sand that you then put inside of this really overbuilt heat press that you squish, and it makes this honey, which is rosin, which is super cool. So definitely cannabis tech is pretty cool. The embroidery equipment that we got this year, you can never, I'm just reminded over and over the years, anytime you can invest in embroidery, it's not a bad thing. I mean, embroidery is just, you can't half-ass it though. If you got a whole ass embroidery, or it's the worst. It's probably similar.
What kind of machines do you get?
We have Tajima. I've been buying Tajima machines as we kind of started taking it seriously. And then when we acquired that shop, they were a ZSK shop. So we have 30 something heads of ZSK, and then 24 or 26 or something heads of Tajima.
What do you like better?
I don't know. I'm not a decorator. I like they're all brand new and they all work. And when they don't work, someone comes and fixes them.
That's what matters.
It's that. I think I've liked the Tajimas because the relationship that I have with the rep that sold them to us. And anytime that we've needed something from Hirsch, they've just been there ready to jump on it.
Bruce, what's your favorite feature of the year?
I think ACH was really cool. We've been asked, that was number 3 on the list of, our idea board, which I do check out.
I screenshot them and send them to Bruce, don't worry.
I think that was really cool. And then also whenever I log into accounts to help folks with stuff, I do see the invoice fees being used a lot, the default ones. So that, took
Justin, do you use fees yet?
A long time.
Well, the fees is awesome.
What are you using for?
Credit card fees.
Ooh.
Automatically.
You're not supposed to do that.
What? No, it's legal in Illinois. You're fine. I don't know what's legal in Oklahoma. You've been talking about rosin and all that, so I'm working.
Everything's legal in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Fees have been awesome. All right, let's keep moving on here. Best and worst.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Do you automatically have a fee that kicks into each invoice that offsets the processing fee?
Basically, what you can do is say add, if the payment type is this, add this fee on the invoice. And so, right, something like that. So basically, in our payment request, it says, if you are paying by check, please let us know and we will remove the fee. I just made.
So you had an instant 3% boost to your bottom line.
I mean, I don't know what your Stripe looks like, but it's probably a lot bigger than mine. And so, you can totally do it. And people understand it now. They do it at gas stations. So why don't we?
All right. The only thing I have to say to this is make sure that you check.
It's legal in your state. It's Bruce.
Whatever applicable
Bruce does not
laws,
stand behind this message.
We don't condone this. We release invoice fees. Shops can use it, but
it's a
definitely
convenience fee for Campus Inc. Not endorsed by Printavo. You're welcome, Justin. If Oklahoma just grew by 3%,
Justin's taking a lot of notes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
Okay. Personal life choices, best and worst. Bruce, you want to lead us off?
Okay. I've got a little bit of a longer list, but I thought about this. I put some time thinking about this because a year is a long time. The first thing, although I only started doing in the last month or so, is if I don't have any meetings scheduled early, I can start my day at 9 and I could go to the gym in the morning or run or something. I hated morning workouts before, but now for some reason I just have insane energy. It's like I drank a mug of coffee from that workout and I'm just so fired up to take on the day. That's pretty cool.
Bruce, do you surf in the morning?
I can't. I mean, I like to if I have the time. Yeah. I got to get up early, got to get out, but yeah, for sure. If the weather's good, it's been super rainy out here recently.
Darn.
Yeah, I'm trying to get good. If there's any shop owners that surf, hit me up. I have found that moving meetings. So I found that my morning time, start time to noon, is super good focus. I can bang out so much work, and then I've also found that maybe 8 p.m. to 10ish or something is this other weird random focus time. And so the opposite times is when I put meetings in. So I'll move meetings essentially into the afternoon. If it's scheduled in the morning, it's because it absolutely had to be for some reason. But I view that as a waste of my most efficient work time. That's been awesome. Nailing down meal kits. Steven, you sent me this Factor. Is it called Factor 75? Is that what it's called?
No, just Factor.
Factor. Yeah, it is. Factor75.com. Huh. They have been awesome. Their meal kits, I think it's about
It's a bougie lean cuisine.
Yeah, I think it's $13 per meal. It goes down if you order more for the family or whatever. But yeah, awesome. Actually tastes good, which I found
they're not frozen.
Freshly, and some of these others literally taste like mush. That saves so much time, and I don't enjoy cooking, so that's great. Another thing with the working out, because I think it helps my mental fitness now, if I don't regularly go, is just joining a nicer gym that's just clean, feels good. I'm wearing nicer clothes, all that stuff. I tried to go to a YMCA, and it was I had never been to a YMCA, and it was just it was
Who are
terrible.
all these poor people? I can't hang out with these guys. Is that
Bruce,
what it's
you're
Just
gonna Bruce, you don't like Planet Fitness?
that place is probably fine. I've never been to Planet Fitness either. But
Bruce,
just
how much do you spend at Lululemon a year?
Show us
I
the
don't
tax
buy
returns.
as much. I have a mix of stuff. I have a mix of Target stuff, Lulu stuff.
Sanmar, S&S.
Yeah, if it
They got rid
fits,
of
if it fits
Soybu.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, another personal one. I got a digital picture frame. There's this thing called Aura, AURA, and it's maybe $150. I find you take so many pictures on your phone, but you never see it again. So I now send so many as I take them to this picture frame, and I put it in our bedroom, by the TV, or on a nightstand or whatever, and you actually see these, and it rotates. So cool. I mean, there's
do
so
you
many
just share
memories.
it to your iCloud? Does it just connect to your like?
Yeah,
albums?
it goes up. No, you have to like send it. So it's like as
Ah.
part of the app, you send the photos super quick. But like you actually remember these memories, which you don't. You're just so busy, you never see these things again. All right, the next one I have is. I think, Steven, you brought this up too, but just saying no more often to different calls or Zooms. It's like, gosh, just to get on a Zoom, it's just like I feel like a drag. Like it's just, you're waiting for it and all that time and everything. So either delegating it off or just like, hey, shoot me an email with the information. That's helpful. The other thing too is not having my phone around as much as possible during the day. The notifications and everything generally can wait anyway. So, I for whatever reason, I don't know if you guys do this, but if you like are loading something and then you're waiting or you have a break in your brain, what you're focusing on, and you just look at your phone, I feel like there goes 5 minutes. And then, you're scrolling on something, you open an app, you check email, you're writing something else, total distraction. So, and I think my last one is, with the transition of Printavo and everything, I've been able to spend more time and focus more on our marriage, which has been nice. And so I think there's a question of like, how do I help improve this? And somebody wrote, if you can picture this as the first like date or the first couple months, like what are those things that you were doing that time? Whether it's a crazy, a helicopter tour of the city or like a really cool, omakase dinner, so something like really nice, and just trying to think about that stuff more. Because obviously things can get stale and slow and, you just get in a routine. Okay.
What's your worst personal life choice, Bruce?
Oh, shoot. I didn't even think about the worst one. Let me think about it.
I have to go to the gym. I just have to. I found success with losing weight with not going to the gym, but just like not eating as much, and I've definitely noticed that I feel weaker and am tired, and so not that it's 2023, but it is, and that's certainly a focus for me, is not just going to the gym for going to the gym, but how can I make sure that my physical activity is, I'm hitting that and what works for me. I have to go in the morning, Bruce. If I don't go in the morning, then it just doesn't happen, because I can think of a million reasons why not to go, or something more important always comes up, and it's just easy to dismiss that to tomorrow.
That's awesome.
The good ones are definitely, it's certainly family focused. My kids are in a sweet spot right now, and my wife is in a sweet spot right now. We're just enjoying family, and so I'm trying to be more guarded about travel, and I'm trying to be more guarded about the things that I say yes to, and similar strategies, Bruce. Like, what are the things that you can do to keep the spice alive? I think my wife and I are communicating better than we have ever, and I think part of that is her finally feeling safe around me, and that like I'm stable, and that I'm not just going a million different directions, or I'm not going to blow up or lose my shit. Like and some of that responsibility is certainly on me, of creating this, stable, safe, like family unit. And as our kids, as kids get a little older, things get a little easier. You trade one set of problems for a different one, but I certainly have felt that my wife and I are connecting on a different level than we have before. And so that's very sweet. I have a whole lot of shoes that I can't wear anymore. And they're sitting in a warehouse, just sitting.
Did you sell them or no?
And perpetuate the... like that's where I'm at. Like, I just kind of have these, like, maybe he'll say I'm sorry, and like I can wear these shoes again. But
how many pairs
of
do you
Yeezys?
have? How many pairs?
It's more than 20.
Oh,
that's a lot of colorways.
Okay.
We're talking about, your boy built a wardrobe around it. Like, that was my, like, they made me feel pretty, and also they, like, I've got a wide foot, and so my foot. Now I just wear shoes. I only wear shoes that I get on Instagram now. Like it's Atoms, ATOMS, and Allbirds, and it's for the same idea. Like it's that sock material. Also, I'm 38. Who am I? I don't need to wear fucking Yeezys anymore. Like I can just get shoes that I look like a normal dad.
You can do sandals or New Balance,
Birkenstocks,
That's what I
Hokas.
do.
Birkenstocks.
I'm on Team Burke.
No, that's not a poor choice. It was silly. So that was I don't know what the worst choice. Not going to the gym, probably. I need to work out.
Do you still play disc golf as much, Justin?
And man, every chance I get, not as much. You know, there was a season when it was hard. Now it's probably I probably play 2 times a month right now, and that it needs to be more. I was playing 2 or 3 times a week, which certainly was great. Now for me, it's just I try to hit 10,000 steps. You know, that's my
Close
I know
rings.
that I've had an active day. Yeah, and certainly being at Chill, my rhythms are different because I'm kind of on the field playing with them, you know, and not coaching or not. I'm just trying to hold everyone accountable. So when I can get Osco for me is largely sitting here in my office and looking at a computer. Chill is very different. You know, I'm not on a computer. I'm not using my phone. I'm using my hands and stuff.
All right, best decisions this year. So I am a pinball when it comes to traveling between Chicago, Champaign, Indiana. And one of the things Carson and I tried to do is make sure we had a good spot in all of them so we could do it together. So it's not like, hey, I'm going here, you're going there. It's like, oh, we can go spend 3 days together there, 2 days together there, 3 days together there. So that was a big thing we tried to do, just knowing that our jobs are all over the place, which is cool. I think one thing that I was trying to do a lot more this year is like Looms instead of Zooms. So instead of calling a meeting, can I record a 5-minute video? And likewise, if someone needs to meet with me, can they give me a quick Loom or a recording instead of Zooming? Because I think, to your point, Bruce, my schedule just gets attacked, and so I've been protecting it a lot more. Like I won't take meetings later in the week. We just push them on to the next week, and I think I always try to be like a meeting hero. Like, oh yeah, I'll top on a 15-minute call. Oh yeah, no problem. And now it's like, no, just put them next week. If it's not that important, put someone else on the call. And I think I tried to always be on every call, like, ooh, I want to be on that call, or ooh, I want to be on that call. And this year it's been like, nope, you take that call and let me know how it goes. And that's helped me out a bit. A cool life decision. Me and Carson lived in LA for a month. That was pretty cool. We did that in January, and I don't know, it was like studying abroad. We only lived a block away from Bruce. But that was super cool. And then a couple things that I did, like I said earlier, I got a therapist, I got a sales coach, I got a personal trainer. I just can't stress how important that has been for me, whether it's my mental health, physical health, business health, having advisors and stuff like that, and not being shy about it either. I think everyone thinks there's taboo with it, and all of that stuff is super helpful, and it's been super good for me. Worst life choice, buying a boat.
Justin.
Justin can relate. Gas is expensive. You have to be the captain all the time. We'll see how next summer goes. Sometimes it breaks down.
Oh, your hand also too.
Oh yeah, sometimes when the lake's low, you can get stitches because you're trying to dock it with no one else. And, docking a boat builds happy marriages, right, Justin? Yeah, there you go.
I wish I had a worse to share, but we'll keep it rolling. Let's just do favorites, book or podcast or newsletter, something that like you started following and really picked and pulled a lot of stuff from. I can kick it off. I read a book called Psychology of Money, which I thought was really interesting. It just talked about how you want to really think about your life in terms of creating more fulfilling experiences. I think just focusing on work for so long, like how do you shift that to instead of the next dollar or revenue metric, it was like the things that created memories for family or parents, things like that or the team. That was really cool. And then also, I have to mention, which I mentioned before, Sahil Bloom's Curiosity Chronicle newsletter. Subscribe to that. It's really cool, of just like personal life improvements. And just things that are sometimes are just reminders, like go take a walk. Like I know you're slammed, but like go like walk around the block for 15 minutes without your phone to help reset. And then of course the book traction.
Bruce, you finished it this year?
I'm 75, 80% finished. I got the gist, And that's how I was when I was learning the code. I read this book like 70% through, and then I stopped. I'm like, all right, cool, and then just started typing away. But yeah, that book, I should reread that one too. It's such a great, powerful book that really helped to get us on the right page, like when stuff started to feel like it was out of control. All right, what's your favorite? Who's next? Steven, you want to go?
I'll go. All right, favorite podcast. If you don't already know, it's My First Million. I was fortunate enough to be on there to pitch, but I've gotten to know a couple of the guys on there and just follow their journey of, I tell Bruce this, they're like a little bit ahead, like they're definitely way ahead of us, but it's cool to see, people out there that have succeeded, exited, had financial success in business and life, and to be slightly removed from them, but to look at them as like a model of like, oh shit, that's what they're doing. So been loving listening to them. And then as far as a book, High Output Management, written by the founder of, the CEO of Intel before the internet was out. Which is really cool to talk about things like task maturity, and the power of management. And there's just a ton of cool shit in there. So we have used that a ton in our business, and I've really enjoyed it. So those are my two. Justin, what do you got?
For me, okay, there's this podcast out there that's called, this may not be the best, but it's just a diamond. It's called, shit, I wrote it down. Where's it? Oh, it's called The Connect. And episode, I think it's 7, it's called I Was Forced to Smuggle Drugs in Prison. Wild. Just wild. Like, just because it's this guy that was in prison and he just gives this unedited tale of his time in prison and how he kept alive and what he did and what he didn't do and what others did. And anyways, just fascinating. Like, it's not going to make you a better at business or anything. It's just like pure recreational podcasting. There's a book called 1 Minute Manager. I mean, I read it again this year. It's a short read, but it's just a reminder as someone who at the end of the day, like if you're responsible for leading people, it doesn't have to be this huge grandiose thing. Like little things that happen consistently are really the most significant things that help move the ball down the field. You said newsletters, Bruce. I get a few each morning that I've found myself like not unsubscribing to. And one of them's called Shift, SHIFT, and then one of them's called Morning Brew. And they're just like, brew. They're fantastic. They give me like just a digest of what happened last night or what happened the day before and it's kind of like the newspaper, but global and like national type news.
Love it. That's awesome. Farag, when you read those books, do you do the audiobook or do you do the Kindle?
I usually listen to it when I'm driving, and then I buy a copy to like dig through it. I think the one thing I learned is like it's okay to read a book out of order. So I'll like definitely get through it and then just listen to the chapters that I like the most.
Got it. Yeah. So is the audiobook kind of like just listening to a long podcast? I should try that.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like this. Like I have a 2-hour drive twice a week, so if I can belt out, if I can finish one a month. What?
I mean, you could get through a book a week. Or
Yeah,
a book,
I mean,
a book a
I like
month.
listening to other stuff, but if I can spend like 2 hours just listening, you know, the other one that I really like is the Bob Iger one, the Disney one.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but yeah, those are the fun ones to listen to because they're like war stories. So,
Yeah, the ride of a lifetime.
yeah. This is good.
Cool. All right, I think we'll wrap it. I mean, we had like a prediction section, but I don't know if that may take some time to actually think through unless you want to run through that, Steven.
We said that this last year was getting everyone on the bus. Now it's time to drive the bus. So we at Campus Inc. have a pretty aggressive we're going to try and double the size of the company in a year. So that's what we've got to do, and we're gonna try and do it. So we'll see.
Godspeed, bro.
We'll see how it goes.
Justin just goes.
Be cheering for you hard. Go home.
We'll talk next year. Yeah, that's my prediction. But no, I mean, it's going to be aggressive. We'll see what happens. Justin, what do you got?
Man, I hope I'm kind of in this. I continue to long for stability, and I want predictability, and I'm trying to like just take really good care. I've got a lot of hay that's been cut down, and I want to make sure that it's all put up and taken care of and proper, and that we can do this for a long time. So I'm at the end of a sprint with Chill, and it's not the end. I've made it through like the grind, and now it's the like, okay, well, now we need to show up and like, let's turn this into something, and let's get organized and regimented and consistent. And so I just want to, that's for me. Like, I want to sleep good. I want to not worry about cash flow issues. I want stability and predictability, because I'm just tired. And so I'm hoping that's the focus of my team's works this year. I'm also, some of that comes like from just, if I'm really being honest, like I felt like things before the pandemic were pretty somewhat predictable. And now it just seems like the rules are just, there are no rules. Like, it's just whatever tomorrow brings, you know, and you have to adapt. And so I don't know what this recession that's coming later in the year supposedly is going to look like. I don't know I don't know. And so and for me, you know, and us, like as the screen printer, a lot of our work isn't guaranteed, you know, like we're happy when we're booked 2 weeks out solid. But we don't know what's a month after that or 2 months after that, other than the like testimony of our financials and our books from the years before that surprisingly continue to just like look the same, but none of the work is guaranteed. And you lose big customers or you lose big accounts, and then you gain new ones. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's almost like basketball where you can get a little conspiracy theorist, like, is this rigged? You know, but it seems like, I don't know, like the predictability of Oklahoma Shirt Company is stabilizing as we get more reps of months, you know, and years under our belts. But I want the good people that work here to be able to do this for as long as they want to, and to have the sense of security about it, and us continue to be a generous company and all the things that come along with that.
I'd like to just keep making some really cool content this year. I think we'll be able to achieve that. I want to try to do some new stuff. I've got some ideas. I'm actually
doing Bruce letter coming out.
Well, I'm actually doing the this 30 for 30 challenge thing. So in that Sahil Bloom newsletter, he was like, do like 30 minutes for 30 days to build a new habit. I've never been that good at writing, so I blocked my calendar, and every morning I'm writing. Right now, it's more about tech stuff and things that I've learned just in the past, and so. Did it this morning, did it yesterday, did it on the plane coming back. So yeah, we'll see if that actually builds and creates a new habit and builds some new skills. And then product wise, I'd love for our team to revamp purchasing and reporting. That's a big one for this year that we've got on the roadmap and is like planned, and they're already doing the purchasing research. So I know we've been talking about that for a while. I think that was fun. Justin, thanks so much for joining. Really
Of course,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope y'all have a wonderful and happy New Year.
We'll see you in Long Beach.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Hey.
Long Beach is gonna be fun.
All right, cool. Hey,
right.
thanks for listening to the Printavo Print Houses podcast. We appreciate you. Hopefully everyone has an awesome 2023. Happy New Year.